What's this team grown most in which area, in your opinion, from the start of your time?
Well, I think just understanding the league, understanding what it takes to get the puck back. You're used to having the puck all the time. In this league, they never give you the puck. You got to play in the right spots to get it. There's a whole nother level of league coming now, though. So, you know, how we adjust and how we handle that. You can talk about it all we want, but you got to feel it a little bit for yourself. And we don't have a ton of playoff experience in here, but the guys that have been here were good today when we talked about it, so that was great.
Any update on sites for pull-up?
They didn't practice today, so we'll see if they practice tomorrow. Obviously, both guys are progressing. You know, we're optimistic both guys will be ready, but, you know, I can't guarantee anything.
You talked about there being
Yeah.
You talked about there being no space in playoff hockey. What does your team have to do well to have success in that style?
Well, I think just we're going to have to create our own space, and when someone takes your space away, you got to take their space away, and you just got to be patient. You know, you have to be real patient when you don't have the puck, and real heavy when you do have the puck. There's no sense giving it back to them. But you know, obviously, playoff experience is on their side for sure. I like the youthful enthusiasm we have. I like how quick we can play, but we're going to have to play quick and do the right things. Our intent is to get prepared over the next couple of days, enjoy the process, and go into Washington and be prepared to win.
Mike, does player preparation change for playoffs?
I think you do what you do. I think you get to know the other team a lot better. Why? Because you're playing them more, and you have the opportunity to prepare for them, and you're not playing 4 games this week, you're playing one team this week. And so I think that part makes it more detailed. You know, obviously, you're going to err on the side of caution as far as getting your rest and eating right and doing all the things you have to do and to be ready to go. But I think that's our first practice almost in a month, it seemed like. I thought it looked like we hadn't practiced in a while. Just guys didn't skate as good as they normally do. When you don't skate, it's hard to skate good. So today and tomorrow are good days for us, and we'll be ready to go.
Do you feel like underdogs?
Well, I think we are underdogs. But if I remember, someone texted me this last night. That's how I know it was. ESPN on their panel of experts had everyone on their team had us to miss the playoffs. So, I mean, we're in the playoffs, so, you know, who cares? I've been the underdog lots and won. And I've been the President Trophy winner and lost in the first round. 5th best record of all time, or 4th best, 58 wins. Lost in the first round to Edmonton. When I coached in Anaheim, we beat the Detroit Red Wings, who swept them in the first round. I think that was in '03. And they just won the cup. So go there and play right, and let's see what happens.
Do you see many areas of Washington's game that you think you can maybe have a slight edge in? Or
I think Washington's a real good team. They got a good coach. They got experienced players. I think they're a good team.
Nylander hasn't played on Kadri's wing in a while, but at this stage of where his game is at, what would you like about that line with him there?
Well, I don't know if I'm going with that line. I just wanted you to ask me that question today in the press. No, you know, obviously we've won a bunch of different ways this year, and I just think it's going to be tighter. We might need to be different, and so today we practice like that. We'll see how we practice tomorrow.
But
in terms of there being no space and it being tight, is Austin's game well suited because of how he can create in small spaces?
Oh, for sure. I think a lot of guys are well suited. Like, you know, when you look at a guy like Mitch, who's not a big guy. I mean, he's been a dominant playoff performer everywhere he's been. So let's be here now. If you stand back and you think, whoa, you know, I've never been here before, it could be overwhelming. If you just get in and play, I think you'll be fine. So we have a lot of players who create space in small areas. Our young guys are real good at that. They're going to have to do it, and we're going to have to do it right together.
With at least 4 games in the next 8 days, Mike, how important might these fourth lines be in terms of being very effective given the space and time? Well,
I think when you look at their fourth line is a real good fourth line, a heavy group, and they play against the best players starting D zone and in O zone lots. So it's going to be a challenge for our guys playing against them. And then they obviously get last change at home. They start their top 2 groups in the O zone way more and Beagle in the D zone. So someone's going to have a matchup probably that they didn't necessarily prefer or I wouldn't have suggested. But the great thing about it is you just look at the guy across from you and beat him one-on-one.
You have a ton of playoff experience, but how significant is it that your goalkeeper's been to a conference final?
Yeah, I think it's good that he's played. Obviously, it's good to see him out there stopping the puck. That would probably be a workload for a guy who hasn't been in the net in a while. And you know, but in saying that, he should be ready to go.
How much did his play this year, Mike, allow the rookies to grow at a comfortable pace, do you think?
Well, I think two things. His goaltending helped, and they're getting 5 a night helped too. You know what I mean? So it's always nice to play goal or pitch for a team that generates runs or scores goals. So I think it goes hand in hand.
How has coaching in the playoffs evolved for you since your first time in the playoffs in the league till now?
Well, I mean, obviously, my first time, I mean, I'd like to be as good as I was my first time this time, to be honest with you. No, I mean, you don't know what you're doing, but you just do it, and you do it the best of your ability. Obviously, I've been around lots of winning and lots of being disappointed too, and understand what it takes to be successful. Each group's different, and so you try to prepare a plan that allows your group to be successful, and you're ready to adjust as you go.
How do you deal with a guy like Wilson, like, and you know he's going to be in your crease and in the goalie's face and doing what he does?
Well, you know, and nothing against Wills because he works hard and all that, but he's not as big a concern as lots of people on their team. So, you know, I mean, he's a forechecker and he works hard. I think their fourth line has been real good for them. In saying that, they got a lot of players that we'll concern ourselves with more. We have some big guys too. If it just wants to get physical or fisticuffs, we can look after that, no problem. You know, I think the big thing Washington has going for them is they got good depth right through.
Mike, you said you're on both sides of the slaying down the giant, but also being the giant that gets slayed on both sides of it. How important early in a series is to...
Well, that's the whole key, as you know. So if you let them get going, then they're going and they're loose and driving. But that pucker factor is an unbelievable thing. And until you've been the best seed, and until you have your whole city expecting, you don't know what that's like and how good a defense that is for the underdog. It's unbelievable. So my first year in Detroit, I'd never experienced anything like it. I couldn't believe how we couldn't skate or pass. So pressure is a wonderful thing. And we're the underdog. You said we're the underdog?
Your fan base is obviously satisfied already with what this team has accomplished.
Oh,
Are you?
well, that's not what they're yelling at me when we're walking around Yorkville, so maybe you're meeting different people than me.
What are they saying?
Well, let's get going. You know, like, I mean, you're here, you have an opportunity. I told the young guys today is you think when you're a young guy, you think, oh, next year. Next year never comes in sport. You make good on the opportunities you get. You put everything into it, and then if it doesn't go your way, you regroup, but put everything into it here. We got an opportunity just like they do. We're going to put our skates on just like they do. We're going to Washington. We plan on winning.